Hey guys, this is Jaxie, and today we're going to get excited about history with Battle Academy. So this is scenario 2, and this scenario introduced a new mechanic right there where you are given a certain amount of points, but not enough to buy everything. So for us, we are getting right into it, and I bought some extra tanks. So I have 3 M3 tanks in addition to my Matildas, and right from the get-go, these settlements, I am going to drop some artillery on one and do a bomber strike on the other. Like we saw in the first game, you definitely want to watch out for any of those blind areas. And if you see here, there's a lot of hiding places in those buildings, in the anti-tank traps, and in the sandbags. So we are going to just artillery that into dirt. And right here, there is a huge Italian column, and we're just going to send our tanks up to meet it. We are not going to be afraid of the Italians, but I do want them to hunt as much as possible, because if you look, the Italians actually brought some real tanks this time, and they are capable of destroying the M3s pretty well. And if they got around on a Matilda, they could make life interesting, so better to be cautious, keep the tanks together. I am going to move infantry very cautiously up to this town, lay down some covering fire. I'm going to wait for the artillery to come in before I actually take the settlement, though. And so looking around, if you notice, I put some units on do not fire mode. Basically, they won't fire unless fired upon, but I want these tanks to just unload on this convoy. And right there, all 3 react shots knock that tank into suppression, so it's going to start fleeing. They are bringing a lot to hit us. I'm glad I took a lot of extra tanks, but we do have some side shots and rear shots. Facing is very important in this game, and so is distance. In some of the scenarios like France 1940, if you have a Panzer III and you're taking on a B1, you definitely need to get around it, otherwise that monster is just going to shred you with its 75 millimeter, geez. And right here, the Italians are actually fleeing from the artillery right into my view, so I can lay down some covering fire, bring my infantry to bear. And one thing about this scenario, it doesn't actually announce, but if I want to kill these guys early, what actually happens is you get artillery strikes the Italians start doing, and if you take this settlement, it'll cut their communications and they can't do the artillery. So a little bit of pre-knowledge. I have played this game extensively. One cool trick there, you'll notice I tried to put men in that section of the building, and it told me I couldn't. So there's that settlement, yeah. Hey, look, those radio communications we didn't know existed till next turn. Yeah, we got them. But as I try to drop those dudes in, it actually wouldn't let me, so I knew a unit was there. If something's not suppressed, I mean, it's going to attack you, but that is a good way to kind of scout out. This first Battle Academy game does have some tricks like that, and I will say they cleaned up some of those things in the second one. Right there, my little tiny desert tanks paying for themselves. I want to do my shots carefully because I really don't want to lose the Stuarts. They have decent guns, but their armor is not great, so I got to be careful with them. And that is, I guess, more of a front shot than a side shot. That Matilda, I can't see over the hill, but rear armor. And nope. I mean, I have them fleeing, and that's pretty cool, but not much there. I'm gonna hunt up because his gun is not super strong, but you know, if you get close enough with most guns, I mean, they'll do something. And right there, creeping worked. Got one. Let's see if I can hit this one in its rear armor. Not quite, but man, another thing to note, because it might come up with that tank, if you get a unit to -100 morale, it will just rout, and it's instantly done. We actually saw that in the first game with the Italians, with the artillery bombardment, but since there was fog of war, we couldn't see their morale to know that that was the game mechanic going on. And right there, I'm attacking this truck because it does have units inside. If you do that, it will drop the infantry and they won't be able to react instantly. So better to do that. If they were to drop the infantry next turn and they actually chose to do that, those infantry can move and attack. But by surprising them like that, it's going to give me some time. And right there, we've got some of their units fleeing. So far, things are looking good. We're going to bomb this village relentlessly. I don't know what's hiding in those buildings, but oh, right there we actually destroy a tank and one of their real ones. That's nice. That's going to save us some headaches later when we try to take that objective. So that is pleasing. Did not expect such a good result. He should have a nice side shot. Creep up a little bit. I don't want to get too much in the gun of that Italian tank, but I want to get rid of that tank at. I'm trying to be pretty deliberate. Because of the way react fire works, you can try to use units to draw out other units' react fire and then attack without any sort of counter. And it's what you often want to do. So I'm moving these Matildas in a lot of really conspicuous positions, hoping the Italians take shots, even though they probably cannot get through the armor. I would like them to burn their counterfire against the Matildas. Then I'll have a free hand to do whatever I want with the Stuarts. And if you look, one of my objectives for the achievement is to kill all tanks, which again, like I said, I always shoot for those achievements because it makes it more interesting. Because this little M3 is breaking away from the pack. It's now him versus 2 tankettes and chasing down a fleeing tank. That Armado, don't know what I want to do with it. It has a very small chance to hit. It's under 10%, but one thing you'll notice is as I attack, the percentage to destroy it does go up a little bit. The game actually simulates zeroing in, that if a unit continuously fires at something, they're eventually going to zero it in the sights and get it. Cool little feature there, you can actually reverse tanks. It won't change their facing. One of the things you don't want to do in this game is accidentally have a tank turn around and go backwards, because the enemy will gladly take react fire shots at the rear armor and try to blow it up. And right there, ooh, first shot. Oh, that was just devastating. But that's why I brought extra tanks. I still have my Matildas and I still have some Stuarts, so could be worse. And right there, I have recon planes that are not represented telling me I'm going to get hit by the Italian armor on the other side. So now what I have to do is destroy these 3 tankettes, this one tank, including the one fleeing tank, and then wheel around and hit the other side. So one of the things I like is you do have these scenarios. They're not super dynamic. Most of it's turn-based or based on when you take an objective or kill a unit or cross a certain line in the map, but they make it feel back and forth, and definitely the first time you play these scenarios, or if you play one when you haven't played in a while, they can be pretty cool, and they'll do things like have you do an attack and all of a sudden say, uh-oh, you're about to get cut off, go back, and, you know, always make you feel like you are facing impossible odds while also scaling up the difficulty to be pretty reasonable. I wouldn't say the later scenarios, and certainly some of the DLC for this game, are always easy. This right here, this is the initial scenario. It is giving you 2 games against the Italians, which, nothing against the Italians, but it does model that in World War II, they didn't exactly live up to the standards of the Germans. Whereas next scenario, we will be facing the Deutsche Afrika Korps, and things will get a little more interesting when Rommel is in the mix. But right here, if I can take out that truck, put that infantry out, and nope, cannot hit anything, even while hunting. Usually hunting accuracy is not messed with, but right there my infantry is able to take an ambush shot, and right there, ooh. Now see, the Italian infantry weren't able to counterfire even though my infantry exposed themselves, just because when they get knocked out of a truck, they don't get the chance. And we're able to get a beautiful side shot from above. Facing and positioning is so important. And I know this game can be awkward for people who are super groggy because it isn't hexes, and it'll never be hexes, and there's times where you want to do a diagonal movement, and there's like a hedgerow or something, and you do feel it a little bit that it's the squares, but I think with the turns and stuff, it's a really good system. They use this system for Field of Glory 2, Pike and Shot. Oh, the Japanese one I'm not going to try to pronounce right now without looking up and studying it. I don't know if it's obvious from my videos, but the only language that I speak as a second language fluently is German. And even then, so many years after the last time I've been there, using the word fluent is probably generous. Italy attacks, and my infantry lose one man, but they are going to hold fast. Plucky Englishmen, I have to say. I'm excited. And I don't think this version of the game actually will say when they're Australians or New Zealanders, unfortunately. There are scenarios where I know you get Canadian troops, and I think there's some where they might even say they're Polish. But unfortunately here, no credit to the New Zealanders or Australians. Yeah, they are not happy. So now with my tanks, because things are going so well, I am just going to wheel. Let's get closer. No, he has low morale still. He has not recovered. I'm going to try to get a good shot. But, yeah, my armor has to wheel around here. I got to try to get to that other Italian attack. Luckily, though, that bomber shot was super lucky, guys. I can't even, like, express how happy I am. Because to get hit from behind with a full Italian tank is annoying. Right here, we'll have these little tankettes. So I'm going to set all of these infantry to hold fire. I'm going to let their tanks get close. Then I can choose if I want to assault with my infantry from cover. Otherwise, if you don't set people to hold fire, I mean, they will fire at the first shot. Often, even if it's not possible or high percentage of piercing. So, like, anti-tank guns and things, I will always set them to hold fire unless I, like, have moved away to a different part of the battlefield. Because you don't want them to waste their shots when they have low percentage. Right here. Yeah, you go away. I don't think that guy's going to do much, but I do think they might have a tank still skulking around. So I gotta look. That's this Matilda. He's going to be my scout, bro. He does get a kill there. Lovely, lovely. And my steward is going to move up with this festive desert music. The music in this game, I have to say, that some of the DLCs change it, but get used to this desert theme being kind of interesting because when we get to the Normandy scenario, it is really just the happy, jolly Normandy theme, and boy, you'll get used to that. The second game is a little better on that, where they have, like, motifs, but it does vary it from mission to mission, and depending on if you are the Germans or the Soviets, and at what stage of the war you are. And here, these side shots giving me nothing. And got a front pierce. Beautiful. And one achievement down. So that's done. I need to just finish off their tanks. And then I've only lost one unit, so I am not worried about losing the 5. Not worried at all. I do hope this Matilda can find their last tank. There's no time limit on this one at least, but it is kind of annoying that their tank just sprinted away to the corner. And now if I want the achievement, I gotta play whack-a-mole. So with a side shot and desert rats being pretty good, 33% and beautiful. It's actually a kill. That's really good odds. If you do that and you get spotted, the enemy will counter, and tanks up close have a good chance of killing something. So, where do I want to go with you? I guess I'm just going to keep scouting this edge, and maybe I'll bring this steward in. He's fast. He'll help me clear up. I don't know if there's anything else in that town. I've got one more airstrike coming, so that should be good. I'm going to wait to take that last objective just because I want... yeah, I'll cancel the airstrike. Probably don't need it. I want to get the achievements first. One cool thing that they added in Battle Academy 2 is if you win the scenario, but not all the achievements are done, but they are achievable, it'll tell you, like, hey, do you just want to win, or do you want to go for achievements? This game, if I were to take that, it would just be over, and I would miss out on the achievement. And right there, we have found our last little fugitive. So, he's going to run, but... of course, it's like the one Fog of War spot. Let's send the Stewart after him and see what we can do. Beautiful. That is all the tanks. That is all the enemy. So now just to march in and achieve victory. But thank you guys once again for watching. I'm excited to keep playing this game. I'm not done with the other series. I just, I had some tech issues recently, so it took me a long time to get these videos up and running. But if you guys learned something or had fun watching, leave a like, comment, or subscribe. And as always, stay excited about history, because I am so not done with this series. I'm still doing Panzer Corps and still working on Close Combat and the Decisive Campaign series. But hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video.